beautiful souls, welcome to a place where faith meets reality and Jesus is always at the center. If you're new to my channel, hello guys, my name is Kia Naomi and here I share real life testimonies, godly wisdom and encouragement to help you grow in truth and in grace. So if you're here for real talk, purpose-filled living and Jesus of course, then you are in the right place. You are right where you belong. So this is a topic that I've been wanting to share for some time now, and this is actually something that's happened to me quite recently, and I'm sure a lot of you may relate, or if this is something that is ongoing in your life right now, then obviously this video is for you. There's nothing more scarier than realizing that the place that once felt like home to you, that you felt comfortable in, no longer fits you. It no longer serves you. It feels like it doesn't serve any purpose. You kind of feel out of place. You know, you're used to the comfort, you're used to the peace, you're used to how safe you feel, and now all of a sudden this one place that was your comfort starts to drain you. You get to a point where you're just like, I just can't stay here anymore, right? And this could be anything. It could be in work, you know, job, relationship, or even just within your, like, even just mindset as well. As I like to see it, God will allow discomfort to push you out of a chapter that you've outgrown. So the first part is just talking about the comfort zone, the comfort zone trap. And it starts off very subtly. It gets to a point where you stop dreaming, you stop growing, and it gets to a point, whatever situation you were in, whether it's relationship, whether it's job, whether it is just whatever, it starts to feel like you're just there, you're surviving, but you're not truly living. And deep down you feel God is tugging you and telling you this isn't your home anymore. This is currently what I recently experienced with my current job, which will soon come to an end by the time this video comes up. So if you're new to my channel, you've just stumbled across my channel and you haven't watched all my videos, my first video I posted on here, and I will put the link to that video down below in the description section, and I'll try and put it in the cards up there somewhere if I don't forget. That video, I shared my testimony on how I fasted for 3 days, no water, because I got to a point where I was just desperate. I needed a job. I went a couple of months without a job. Luckily enough, I was able to sustain myself because I had enough money saved to be able to manage with for the next few weeks, which was the initial plan, few weeks, which turned into months. And it got to a point my money started running out. And if you guys live in the UK, you guys know, if you're jobless, you can get a job seekers allowance, right, or universal credit. At that point, knowing how crap government money is when it comes to job seekers, you know, for those looking for a job, the hassle that I'd have to go through to have to get money every 2 weeks, and the money is not a lot at all. There's no way I'm getting job seekers allowance, there's no way I'm gonna get universal credit. Like, I have to get a job. And I felt like at that point, I felt like this could be spiritual as well, and I went through intense prayer and fasting that day, those 3 days. Mind you, I was fasting for something else, but I thought, let me add looking for a job in my prayer list as well. Within 3 days, finally got a phone call, and it was for this current job. Now initially I chose to do one night. I wanted 4 on and 4 off, but this current job didn't do that, right? It was like a 5 days of work, 2 days off, and that was it. At this point I was like, okay, well, if they give me the job, I'll take it, because they were selling me all these dreams as well. You get benefits, you get this, you get that, and it sounded really good to be true. Got the job, everything was great. You know, made friends along the way. You know, some colleagues I became really close to. We still talk till this day, regardless of, you know, those that came, then those that joined after me, those that left before I left, and all that stuff. Regardless, it was always we had a very solid team. Everything just felt like a home, like a second home, because I mean, if I'm not at work, if I'm not at home, I'm at work, right? So, and you know, since I work a night shift, but I felt like home. I felt like home. I remember telling to my hotel manager at the time, I was like, she asked me like, what's the best thing, like how do you feel about this place? And I remember telling her, this is the first job where I've complained the least. And mind you, when I prayed to God, I said to him, God, I want you to bless me with a job where I will complain the least. And I didn't complain for the most part. Recently, things just started happening in the workplace, not with me necessarily, but just like with other colleagues, and you know, certain people are just not doing their job properly, and things of that nature. Then I noticed that I guess my health started to kind of not deteriorate. I never know how to say that word, right? It's got to a point that I was just exhausted and tired, because mind you, I'm not doing a 4 on 4 off. So for those that don't know what 4 on 4 off is, it's basically when you work for 4 days of work, 12-hour shift, and then 4 days off, right? But this was just a typical kind of like a Monday to Friday-ish, although you're working even during the weekends as well. So 5 days of work, 2 days off, which I don't think is very ideal if you're working a night shift. It just doesn't make sense. Things just didn't seem right for me. I was like, oh, like I hear a couple of my colleagues telling me like how the managers were, you know, speaking to them anyhow, how they would treat them, how they would make them feel. And obviously I empathized with them, because if I was in their shoes, I'd feel the same way. As long as they don't come to me with that energy, I'm good. I'm just gonna do my job and go home. So there was this guy, he was the reception manager, and he too went through it to the point where he left, which to me was unexpected, because I did not expect him, of all people, he was the one person I did not expect him to leave. How they just discarded him like that was, I felt like that was already a sign, already warning, like you need to leave. Over time I got tired, like there was just a part of me that was just started to feel uncomfortable. The uncomfortability of me just being there, if I can put it that way, it was subtle, but it was definitely there. It was definitely subtle. I did say to myself that I'd give myself a whole year, just because again, this whole rota is not ideal. 1 year became 1 year and 3 months, 1 year and 6 months, right? So I was quite uncomfortable. There was still a part of me that wanted to leave, but then at the same time there was also another side that was just thinking, let me stay in this place, because you know, this is a stable job. You know, right now, like the job market, I mean, it still is, but when I was applying for jobs, the job market was kind of hard, like rejection upon rejections. These days they don't even send you emails, you don't even hear from them. I went to one interview and they said that they would get back to me, and they never got back to me. Like the audacity, right? Because of that, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna see how far I can go with this job, even though I felt kind of uncomfortable, but it wasn't as intense. It was kind of subtle. So I was like, I can manage for another few months, right? So it turned into a whole like 2 years. At this point, I've been working in this company for 2 years. I hit 2 years in June, so not even that long ago. And prior to that, actually, I wasn't feeling like myself mentally as well. Again, I feel like that's already another sign that I needed to just let go of that place. So I had a plan to firm it until January of next year. I said I'm going to save up as much money as I can, that way when I resign I can just take a break and just call it a day. And then an incident happened at work that got me really vexed, to the point where, and I'm probably going to talk about this in another video, but to the point where I almost cussed out the manager. I know, not very Christian of me, I know, but it was just a lot. And then it got to a point where I just felt uncomfortable after that. I felt like we were being attacked. The point where I felt so uncomfortable to the point where I was just like, I cannot stay here anymore. And the uncomfortability definitely intensified after that. And I was like, okay, come on, be patient, just firm it. You still got a long way to go. You've got until January to save up as much money as you can. You cannot just leave like that. And I was just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna firm it. I also prayed about it. Actually I did. I prayed to God about it, and I said to him, God, I want to save up money so I can at least take a break, but at the same time, what if I take a break and then I start looking for a job and it takes me longer and I start running out of money? Like, I'm so confused. And I said to God, God, you know what's best for me. So I put my trust in you. If I should wait until January, I'm willing to wait until January. I'm willing to firm it and just wait until January. If not, then find another way for me to get out of this place, because I don't feel comfortable here at all. Like, I really do not want to be here. This is the part where I felt encouraged to let go and to let God. My friend, or also my colleague at the same workplace, she actually was like to me, start looking, I think we should both, because at this point she too was also looking. She actually pushed me to look. In fact, she was like, girl, you need to apply now. Like, we were on the phone, mind you, and she was like, apply now. I was like, okay, I'll apply to 15. I was like, 15? She was like, 15? What are you applying to 15 for? Apply to at least 100 a day. I was like, girl, calm down. Literally. Anyway, she prompted me, she pushed me, and I was like, okay, fine. So I have her to thank, to be honest. Okay, so the thing is, I wanted to switch to days, but then I did apply to a few nights, you know, just to be on the safe side, you know, if there's an opportunity there. But I said to myself, if I'm gonna do nights, it has to be 4 on and 4 off. There's no other way. And it has to be for the time being until I have enough money saved, I have my life figured out, I can figure out what's the next step, and then I can just, you know, because trust me, I will not be doing nights forever. Absolutely not. Like, I was like, I don't belong here. Like, I feel like at this point, you know, when you get to when you know that feeling when you feel like you've overstayed your welcome. So I questioned it. I gave it some time. I gave it to God. And I also started applying, because I was like, if this is the route that I need to take, the point was, let me start applying now. If I apply and I find something, then I'll take it. If it doesn't come, then I'm willing to wait until Jan. At this point, I'm gonna just leave it all to God. God knows what's best for me, right? I applied for one job, which I didn't even think much of it. I became extremely uncomfortable. To the point where I started to have anxiety. Like, my chest started to feel really tight. Within a week, I got a job interview. Unexpected. It was a night. I was like, oof, do I want to do another night? I said, you know what, let me just go for it and see what happens. Job interview went extremely well, and then within the next day I got a job offer. Boy, do I tell you, I did not hesitate. When it was given to me on a platter of gold, I said, let me grab it whilst I can. And from that point on, that very same day was when I gave in my resignation letter. But honestly, when I tell you, the decision to leave my workplace was not an easy one, in terms of, well, on the day, again, like I said, once I got the offer, I gave it ASAP. In terms of like leaving the job, this was never my intention. I felt like I got pushed to the point of no return, to the point where I was just like, I can't stay here anymore, and I don't think there's anything that can make me stay longer. And you know, like I said, leaving this job wasn't easy, because then I'm leaving, you know, good night team that I finally, you know, had for once. You know, I didn't really have much of a solid night team, but that duration of 2 years that I worked there, the past few months I had a solid night team. and you know, I got comfortable with them, and you know, and then to now have to call it quits, or to let it go and to go my own separate way, right? And you know, I had to question everything. And I was this close to resign without even securing a job, but I've had a couple of people tell me don't do that. But I have to just let it go and let God, and at this point trust in him, and that he knows what's best for me. They say, you know, don't confuse safety with purpose. I feel like this might be a good beginning for me, because not only will I have time for myself, my family, my friends, but also have time to just make content as well, make, you know, YouTube videos, have time to do my editing as well, you know, have time for God especially, right? If you went from being comfortable in something, or comfortable in a relationship, comfortable in your workplace, to now being uncomfortable and feeling restless and feeling like you don't belong here anymore, don't ignore the sign. Definitely listen to it and ask the Holy Spirit to guide you. God closes doors to not to leave you stuck, but to move you forward, right? In order for you to get to one point to point B, you have to let go of point A, and that's the one thing that, you know, not serving you. You know, there's certain chapters in our lives, certain things, it has to come to an end, right? And you know, some things, for example, you might be in a relationship that's not serving you, it's not stable, it's not God ordained, and you may feel really uncomfortable. That's God pulling you away, letting you know that you need to let go and you need to trust in him. Trust the discomfort, I would say. It is a sign of freedom on the other side. Okay, I'm gonna leave you with a verse, okay? And this verse we are gonna read in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 6 to 7. It says, "The Lord our God says to us in Horeb, you have stayed long enough at this mountain. Turn and take your journey and go to the hill country of Amorites, and to all their neighbors in the Arabah, in the hill country, and in the lowland, and in the Negev, and by the sea coast, and the land of Canaanite and Lebanon, as far as the great river, the river Euphrates." Okay, so once you get to a point where you've overstayed your welcome in a certain place in your life, God will definitely call you to let you, or make it known to you, that you've been here for too long. You need to let go and you need to move on. Anyways guys, I hope this video has spoken to your heart, and if it has, please do give me like, share, comment and subscribe. Keep walking in faith guys, stay rooted in the word of God, so please do read your Bible, okay? And remember that your story, your life is still being written by the author of life. Yes, and I will leave you guys to it. You guys take care, stay blessed, and I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.